From building out the numbers Hemi to matching the factory original FK5 paint, witness the restoration of the burnt orange 1970 Dodge Charger. And the biggest reveal in the history of graveyard cars.
426 Hemi, one of 56 made. 410 Dana Super Track Pack. This car is all numbers. Numbers motor, numbers transmission, all original car. Most of the paint on it's original. It was always the family plan to have the father give the son the 70 Hemi Charger after he passed on. That's where we are today. So now the gentleman I'm working with is excited about getting the car back on the road again, back to life. He has a lot of great stories to tell about it, and we're really looking forward to helping him realize his dream. The motor is seized, it does not turn over. He's worried that the motor could be bad, which, as you know, when you talk about a 1 of 56 numbers matching 70 Hemi Charger with a Super Track Pack, that can devalue it, not only devalue it, but just emotionally for him, that's going to be a shot, because this is the original motor that his dad drove all the time as he was growing up.
At first glance, the engine looked pretty messed up. Looked like it'd been sitting out in the open for quite a while. I was wondering how easy it was going to come apart. Doesn't look like it would come apart very easily.
We're doing pretty good on the engine. We got a little bit of a standstill just because the intake manifold is really fused into place, and you have to be really careful because it's aluminum. So we got to take our time to try to get that thing to finally break its seal, and once it does, we can get that off. Right now I'm putting in some penetrating oil in the cylinders, mostly just to help break it up, so between the ring and the actual cylinder wall itself, to do the least amount of damage to the walls. These frozen solid. If you force one right there, you can end up breaking the ring up against the piston, causing damage in the actual cylinder wall itself. So we're going to have to take the pan off of it, take the rest of it apart, and actually take the pistons out this direction. Pistons, we can buy new ones. They obviously need it. We're not going to be able to save them anyway. The part you don't want to sacrifice is the original numbers matching block and cylinder wall. There's no disappointment here. Actually, this is a really good thing that there's not freeze cracks in the valley, which is one of the things that can happen, or freeze cracks in the block. So far, everything we're looking at looks really good. Once we got the Hemi engine completely apart, we called the machine shop so they could come down, pick everything up, take it back to the shop, put it in their hot tank, get everything clean, get it bead blasted so we can inspect it for damages. Today we're putting together the 426 Hemi for the 1970 Dodge Charger RT. The machine shop has done all the work on the engine. It just came back a couple of days ago, so I just did a little bit of fine tuning and fine cleaning on it. These are the last 8 characters of the VIN number of the 70 Charger RT. You know, it's a real treat for me to be able to work on engines like the 426 Hemi and the 440s and the 6-packs and the 346 packs and 6 barrels. You always have to take your time when you do it. But the Hemi is what really launched the top fuel dragsters into doing the things that they do today. The Hemi was durable. The hemispherical design of the head allowed that fuel in and out of there as fast as they could get it in and out of there. And of course, with a puffer or a blower on top, there was no restriction. The Hemi really created the world of drag racing that you see today. It was inspired and driven and motivated by the Hemi. Again, the early version Hemi.
Extreme care must be taken at every stage of the build. This numbers matching 426 Hemi engine, when matched with the 1970 Dodge Charger RT, is only one of 56 in existence. If a mistake were made that the ghouls or the machine shop couldn't repair, then the value of this car would drop dramatically. Not only would the car lose value monetarily, but sentimentally. The owner of this car received it from his father, and to have to replace the original engine would be devastating. Fortunately for the owner, Mark has built a number of engines in his time, and he is no stranger to the Elephant 426 Hemi.
With the 426 Hemi completely built out and ready for its final assembly, I can move forward with painting the actual engine itself. So we're at the point now where the engine's ready to paint. All of the pieces that are supposed to go on the outside of it so that they can go orange are on and in place. The valve covers are matched off because they stay crinkle black. And we got it lifted up on the hoist. I've got the paint mixing right now inside. I'm gonna turn the booth on, warm everything up, and get ready to start painting. So the engine's been painted, the paint has been cured, it's been lowered down onto the easy run engine stand. So now it's time to start plumbing it out. The sheet metal right now, the way the guys have it, look really good. It's in its ugliest stage. There's a lot of ugly welding and there's problems that need to be cleaned up, but basically what they needed me to do was to sign off and make sure that the basic lines are there that they can sculpt out from there and make it the complete finished off product that it needs to be.
And then here's our fit for the trunk jam. And once we get the rubbers and the bumpers in, it'll, right? You happy with that?
Mm-hmm. Rear body panel, nice spot welds.
That looks factory, doesn't it?
That looks really good.
Yeah.
So I green lighted them on that, and they can move on to the front half of the body now. I'm good with that.
All right.
Just don't forget about the door gap. Maybe needing to be just a little bit fatter before you start doing your body and your paint.
All right, we'll take care of it. Thanks, Mark.
Yep.
Why is it important to undercoat a car? It's important because factory did it. So we're just matching what factory did originally. When you're driving down the road, that's pretty thick rubber that goes across the bottom of it. So it keeps the bottom of the car a lot cleaner, so your car's not getting beat up quite as bad, on top of the fact that it does help prevent some road noise.
With our 70 Hemi Charger getting really close to paint, now's the time to start mixing up the FK5 Burn Orange. I've got 3 gallons of original mixed up color that will need to be tinted, I guarantee it. Once that's done and I have an exact copy of the original, I'm gonna reduce it 100% and it'll be ready to spray on the car. That will give us 6 gallons of sprayable material. This is the closest match that PPG came up with to the factory FK5 Burn Orange. Having looked at FK5 my entire life, I can tell you that it's gonna be a little bit light. But I'm gonna spray this out because I need to determine a couple of things. Number one, how many coats does it take to cover? After that, I need to figure out what I have to do to the color to make it match. So now I'm gonna start putting the coats on the actual card itself to see how many coats it takes to hide. I hate to say 10 coats, but that's what it is. So now what we need to do is take a look at how we look against the panel. So when I look at that, I've got to add extra color. So I'm going to dump some in there. You just got to know your toners. Some of these are a little stronger than others. I'm liking the looks of that. Start spraying the new color on there, and it's pretty darn close. Life is good. Remember, this is a 410 Dana. We're installing new brake lines and new flex line to go along with the rest of the detailed assembly. So your brake line, I always go with the mild steel. They make a stainless steel one, just so you know. So when you're ordering them and they say stainless steel or original, go with original. You don't want it to look any fancier, schmancier, or anything else. Use a little overkill. Put that in there. Now make sure, unlike Royal, you don't cross-thread this. We've got the housing, we've got the differential, the cover, the backing plates, all the brake stuff done. We were just waiting for Mr. Carz to send us out the rear brake lines. This is one of the things we're going to get better at making sure we have in stock. Rear brake lines, emergency brake cables, and the leaf spring rebuild kits, which just showed up. There's a part number tag that goes over here on the left-hand side once you install it in the car. Plus I got to put the X on the back of this. We still need to detail this out with the paint marks. Once we had the axle assembly completely built out and detailed for our 70 Hemi Charger, it was time to lay out some beautiful FK5 Burn Orange. No, that's
where I stepped in.
I think you missed beautiful, and no, I painted the car because the owner wanted me to paint it first.
With my guidance.
I think I had Tack Boy tack cloth it for me. Didn't I have you wax and grease it and tack it for me? You're a good old boy. You're changing locks at the school district.
That's Royal.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's an exciting day for me. This is our FK5 Burn Orange 70 Hemi Charger, right? As anybody that's ever known me, the show, read anything about me, my favorite color of all time is burnt orange. So when I made the deal with the guy who owns it, I said, I will paint the car personally. Because number one, I've never sprayed FK5 since I was a kid doing touch-ups on my own car. And two is, I needed it to be perfect. So what we're doing is we're getting the 70 Hemi Charger ready for its final paint. As I've said before, we paint everything twice, especially the metallic cars. It's more important. The reason being, if you paint metallic in pieces, it won't match when you put it together. Even this car, we did very, very close, and we painted with the same number of coats and the same application, the same air pressure. You can still see a difference between the door and the fender. Right now, I'm going over this area that Will said was perfect, and just seeing some raised areas here. Holes always build up. The paint builds up in these holes and then it falls. And when it falls, it leaves a big fat spot, a sag. So my final sanding is actually doing two things. It's getting rid of imperfections like that, as well as swelling in the paint from the first paint job, orange peel, texture, things like that. It's also providing a bite for the new paint. 320 grit is a great grit to finish with when you're getting ready to put 6 or 7 more coats of base on it and clear over the top of that. What we're doing right now is we're doing the wet sand and buff. That's where you remove all of the orange peel and the imperfections that came in during the paint process, because no matter how hard you try, you don't get perfect. You're always gonna have a dirt nib. Sometimes you have a little bit of a run. Sometimes you have orange peel. So what we're doing is the wet sanding and the buffing. This knocks down the orange peel and the texture, but it leaves 1,000 grit scratches in it. 1,000 grit scratches are very, very difficult to get out. You buff and buff and buff and buff. When he has that all dried off, he'll dry it off and make sure he's got all of his orange peel out of it. This has all been wet sanded up here like a door, and it's ready to have 1,500 grit. See those little jets right there? These little jets are going to get the water, the soapy water on the panel. That's going to lubricate this pad, and what I'm going to end up doing is taking out the 1,000 grit scratches and putting in 1,500 grit scratches. Then the next step will be 2,500 wet, and then I'm ready to buff it. It'll just buff like butter.
So I got an email about you supposedly pitching the first pitch of the Imps game?
Yep.
Oh, so you know about this? Is this something you want to do?
The mayor's office called and asked if I would be willing to throw out the first pitch at the Eugene Emeralds baseball game. Eugene Emeralds are a minor league team owned by the Chicago Cubs. They're over in Eugene, right next to where the Oregon Ducks play at Austin Stadium. One night out of the year is Springfield night, and they always ask for an honorary member of the town.
So I hope you're gonna like practice or something.
You think I need to practice to throw a pitch?
Yeah, Dad. Definitely.
All right.
I figured Will would be the best person to help coach my dad. He's been a coach for basketball, a coach for baseball. He'd be the perfect person in the shop to go to help.
So Mopar plate, home plate, if you will.
I promise you right now, a week's paid vacation.
Okay.
You cannot get it over this point.
Give me the ball. What's this?
You don't need it?
I need it. Not the way you throw, Mary.
Yeah, I throw horrible. All right, week's paid vacation.
I'm throwing into the wind here.
What? Hey, what? Dude, you need to compensate for it. The parking lot's clean. That's a week's vacation. Where's my...
It was 2 inches from the plate on my first throw.
Okay, that's fine. You want another try?
That's 1 throw in 35 years. Well, if that was for real, I'd have done it a little differently. Throw the ball, Yolanda.
So is this for real now?
Oh my God.
A catcher's got to move, Vince.
With pitching practice complete, the Ghouls gather to install the completely rebuilt, numbers matching 426 Hemi.
Hold up. Well, there you go. Basically, everything went great. The Hemi engine's massive, so getting it edged just so slightly right in between the frame rails takes that many guys to do if you don't want to scratch everything up. But now everything's up into place. They're bolting down the rest of the K-member bolts. All that's left is fasten all the things together that we've got ready to go together in the suspension. We're ready to let it down and start putting the rest of the car together.
With the Hemi install checked off, Mark knocks out the 1970 Charger simulated door scoops with RT badging.
My, oh hell yes, gotta put on my party dress. I don't really have a party dress that I wear on a regular basis. With Instrument Specialties doing a beautiful job on the dash, we got it installed in the car, it's all hooked up, functioning, and ready to go. That means we're ready for a vinyl top and a headliner. That means we call Larry. Once that's done, we start buttoning up the rest of the interior. You feel pretty confident?
Yeah, got fuel in it.
You feel good? Okay. If you want to try it, I'm willing to try it. Yeah, this is not your Prius right here. No, no. Try it.
Sounds good. Sounds nice.
It does. This is the best part of any build in the world is when it's done and you know it's a phenomenal job. That Charger turned out beautiful because really the collective group effort on everybody's part, because everybody that works there had a part in it. We now have a 100%, it's close to perfect, there is no perfect, but it's close to perfect, 70 Hemi Charger 4-speed numbers matching car in burn orange, white Bumblebee, not the black one I put on originally, but the white one, with the white one with a black top. So we're excited, we're all getting ready to load into the car and go for a drive and just enjoy all our hard work and labor.
It was really fun for me to see Mark be able to paint a car the same color that was his first car. I helped him clean up his first car, and he's just been a fan of that color ever since.
I love the Bumblebee stripe with the black top and the orange. I think that looks beautiful. I love how they put a black top on with the white stripe.
I know.
You don't like that?
Nope. That burn orange with the white stripe, I think offset's really nice. And then with the black top, the black interior, the car pulls together quite nicely.
I like the contrast. And then you have the dark interior with it. I think that looks cool.
Nope,
really
it doesn't,
like
but it's okay.
It was fun to work on. It was fun to put together. Seeing something like that go together that beautiful is really fun to be a part of. Yeah, I think the owner's going to be really happy with the car. Really excited to see him get it.
I can't wait to take a ride on it. I think my dad will let me drive it.
Are you insane?
Well, just because that one time, I mean, it was worth it. No?
No, but you ain't driving nothing.
car came out really nice. So I think the fact that 4 or 5 cars left, I think we're heading in the right direction.
Everybody's hard work, their attention to detail has really paid off this season.
With our beautiful 426 Hemi completely done and ready to go, we're gonna head over to the baseball field and see what kind of magic the Iceman can do. As I've said many, many times before, this is not the end. We are today, we are tomorrow, we are Graveyard Carz. This is what we do.
I'm looking forward to watching him throw. We've been practicing the past couple weeks. In the back lot, he looks pretty good, you know, but being on a mound in front of a couple thousand people, I don't know. But we're pulling for him.
So tonight's Springfield's night for the Eugene Emeralds, which is our local semi-pro baseball team, the Emerald M's, and I think they're the Eugene M's now. So they asked us to come over and have me throw out the first pitch, so I've been working a little bit on that. I think I got that down. Hope I'm not going to embarrass us too bad.
I mean, I think that he's going to do okay because he practiced, but I'm still nervous. I have no idea what he's going to do when he goes out there.
We don't have a mound
What if he does a stupid dance move, or what is he going to do?
I mean, I have some concerns.
I was going to punch Sluggo, their mascot, out. You know, I was going to warm up his ribs a little bit. No.
You're going to get down.
No, I got a bad back, so I'm trying to say. First, we'll probably do the National Anthem, you know. Always cover my heart.
You already put on that hat, and that's terrible.
Oh, it looks horrible.
It goes like this. Get your hat on.
Don't ever do that with your lip again.
What? This is what they do. There's no question in my mind that the Charger's probably the prettiest car we've ever done. A collective, fantastic team at Graveyard Carz allows us to be able to put these cars out in the time that we're putting them out now and to the degree of quality. So thank you to the team, because I'm nobody without my team.
Holy moly, guys. Oh, too late to back out now.
Let's see Sluggo.
Oh, man.
Oh, nice try.
All right. You see my throw out there? About 100 miles an hour. They don't measure it or anything, but it looked like it. You see it went right across the plate, and that guy kind of went like that a little bit. Just got through throwing out the first ball to the game tonight.
You're welcome.
Mayor introduced us. I don't know what you're talking about.
I got you ready for that. That's 2 weeks of blood, sweat, tears for that throw.
You stood in the back parking lot on company time while I threw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball at you. I don't see how that's blood, sweat,
A simple
tears.
thank you would be nice.
Thank you.